So I printed a copy of my book. Let's unbox it together. Actually, this is just the first 50% of my story. I was thinking of printing like the whole thing, but only the first, like pretty much up to the midpoint is quite polished and that's readable. So I've been working on this book. It's a secret project, so I haven't told anyone the genre, but I've been working on this since last year and I'm in the middle of draft 2 and I really wanted to print this because I feel like I've been reading the first half like over and over, and I want to make sure the first half is quite polished before moving on to the second half. I have printed books before, so this is not quite new to me. I printed my first book. That was actually one of my first videos on YouTube. I look really different. That book is called Euphoria, and I printed it. It was literally like 8.5 by 11. It was like a regular paper size, and I printed it from Lulu's, and I didn't quite enjoy how big it was. Yeah, I don't even have that copy with me. It's at my parents' house, but I feel like every time I print a book, I kind of learn something about myself. With the first book, Euphoria, I felt like that printed copy was too much like a trophy, even though it wasn't done. I printed the first draft. So when I wrote my second book, I printed it again, and it is bare minimum. I got like a random stock photo from Amazon. I didn't even try to do anything fancy about it because I didn't want it to look like a real book, and maybe I should clip myself on, but I did not do any kind of formatting with this. Literally, it just starts with chapter 1, and yeah, the formatting is all over the place. It's like all over the place. So I didn't really want it to be like this either. Not that like my first book that I printed out, Euphoria, was polished. It just had a nicer cover. The inside was like unformatted as well. But this time I had determined to make it look real because I might self-publish this. I don't know yet. But that is the goal. If I do want to pursue publishing, I would try to self-publish it. So I kind of want to read it like a reader. And I do think this is the best book I have ever written. So it would just be really cool to kind of experience that as a reader and not on a computer. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this together. Do you think the microphone would pick it up like this? Okay, I'm just going to unbox it like this and then hopefully it'll pick it up. This is hard to do. Okay, got it. Oh no, my hair was in their microphone. Ooh. Wow. Hey, it looks pretty good. I did it all myself. I quickly want to explain what I mean by I did this myself. I got the dimensions from Barnes & Noble's press, and all of these assets are pulled from Canva. However, I think this background maybe it could be AI generated, and I did not know until I was making this video. You can tell where your graphics come from apparently by clicking this 3 dots, and you'll see whoever created it. So it just says Sketchify. It doesn't say anything about AI, and even if I click on it, it doesn't tell me anything. However, if I copy this and I search for it elsewhere, you'll see that this is an app that turns your image into an illustration. Even on the right side here, it doesn't say it's generated by AI. I'm really frustrated that Canva didn't tell me this, and if I had known otherwise, I would not have used this illustration. And as for this graphic, I believe it's created by a human. People can join the Canva Creative Studio program. That's my understanding. Oh, also, this is not the real title. Obviously, this is not the real cover either. This is just my personal use. If I do self-publish this, I most definitely will hire a real cover artist, and I might even get vellum because I just did the formatting on Word. This is the 5x8. Oh my god, I love format. It's really huge. The lines, the font is really big. It looks much better though. I didn't leave like a ton of space between here. Wow, it looks legit. Yeah, the font is, I use like 0.11 font. Here, let me show you. That's what the font looks like. I used, you know what? I think it's because I did not embed the fonts because this is not the font I had chosen. It's called Holfer Text. Didn't seem like it picked up. This is just like, I think, Times New Roman. Wow. Wait, I just realized that I never revealed the genre. I mean, I guess you know what the genre of my secret project is. I don't know. It's fine. If you've been getting value out of this video, please click that thumbs up button so YouTube can recommend this video to other writers like yourself. So my goal is to work on this after I come back from Tin House. I'm like, do you hear Kirby? I'm currently working on like 2 books at the same time. It's not ideal, I don't recommend it, but the laundry's done. Anyway, I was saying I don't really recommend working on 2 books at the same time, but that's just the way it happened. So I would love to do a read-through of this and, like, as I said earlier, understand this book from, and I haven't worked on it in a while, so just to like read it again, understand it from like a reader's perspective and start editing from there. I truly want the first half to be polished before moving on to the second half. And the goal is, after I do the second half, I'm going to send it out to people to read. I do think that I will want to line edit. I can't help myself. I don't know if I will directly annotate inside this or I'm going to have like a separate revisions checklist, but whatever I do, I guess you'll find out because we'll do it together. I'm just going to try really hard not to get caught up in the lines, but I do think this is the best book I've ever written, just because structurally it required less like surgery. With all my books, even the YA fantasy that I'm currently working on concurrently, that one I've written like the first act like 10 times, but I think the first half is pretty solid. Again, I don't have like beta feedback, but I can't imagine the structure like changing around so much. I did get my critique partner to read my first 10 pages. So this is actually after her feedback. So this chapter 1 is a new chapter 1. It's like a net new chapter. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because, because this is I think the best book I have ever written so far. And I can't wait to continue working on it. I thought I would show you guys what the book looks like from this angle and this perspective. So as I mentioned, this is 5x8. I did this all on Canva, including the entire spread. And I formatted everything on Microsoft Word. I followed Natalia Lee's guide, so I'll link that down below. I can't exactly remember at the top of my head what the margins are, but I really like these. I think it looks pretty good. It's just, as I mentioned, the font is just like too big. Otherwise, I think I like the lining and the space in between. And I believe this is some like ground paper. It was the cheapest one. It feels, I like it. I can't really explain what it feels like. And I like this color a lot. I really do. I also chose to get the matte just because I don't know. I don't think glossy is quite conventional in this genre. So yeah. Let me know if you have any other comments, and please don't read this too thoroughly if I self-publish this. I don't want anyone to get spoiled. So I'll show you how I did this. Barnes & Noble's press will tell you how big your paperback will be based on the pages that you upload. So I knew that my size was 10.821 by 8.25. Custom size, and I did create design. So now that I created my design, this is the dimension I used. If you look for book covers here, there's a bunch that you can choose from. You can even be more specific and do romance book cover. You can also search for like fantasy cover. You can do pretty much anything you want, and there'll be a bunch of covers for you. I just want to mention though that if you do click on one of these covers, it's just a one page like this. However, if you want to make a full wrap, you have to include the front and the spine and the back. Pretty much, as I was saying, I found a cover that I think I kind of liked, and it was this one right here. I enabled all the margins and the rulers and the bleed just to make sure that everything is covered. Again, I'm just doing this like very like half-assedly because like I am not a book cover designer. Pretty much stretched it out until I think it's like halfway. And this is a book, right? So this has to be flipped. So obviously the right side is the front and the left side is the back. And with the middle, what I decided to do was that I cropped part of this because I wanted the light blue to dark blue gradient. I copied this and I pasted it like this. I kind of like minimized it. You can see that it doesn't make sense now. So what I ended up doing was I turned it around like this and I dragged it down. I picked a font that I liked. Actually, my husband helped me pick out this font, so you can add a text box, whatever your book title, and change it to white. There's a bunch of fonts that you can use for Canva. I don't have the Pro, so I could only use like the non-crown ones. I estimated this to be like whatever Barnes & Noble said it was. This is 0.571. I don't think Canva is really the best at this because you can see this little pop-up. So I just estimated it. And actually, if you upload your cover, you get to see the preview of it, so you can keep playing around with it. I just want to add one more thing really quickly. This couple here. So,
well, you can tell that it's not centered that well because obviously I kind of messed up. I thought to include this couple here in this like bluish background because I think this book is a little bit dark and I think this blue encompasses it really well. I like how the characters or this illustration of the couple is facing away, just because I don't love it when characters' looks are like thrusted upon you. So I like how they're behind so you can still kind of imagine what their face looks like. And as I mentioned, this north, this is not the final title. I placed this here on purpose because they're looking up, because the theme, I guess, or there's like a central idea of being up or being somewhere else that's like higher than you. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but that's kind of the theme and why I chose like this couple kind of looking up in the title and kind of having them almost standing on a roof or something looking up.
That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.